What is going on, guys? This is Aaron, or Spade, whatever you know me as. This video is gonna kind of be an entry into photography for myself. As a lot of you know, I have a Sony A5100, which is the camera that's on right here, and I primarily got it for myself to use as a very upgraded camera for my stream, because I got tired of using kind of webcams that couldn't really handle low light situations, because I like to play in low light. So I decided to take it off the tripod, or arm essentially, take it off the arm, go get photos, and try my hand at photography. I'm a typical car guy. I take a lot of pictures of my car on my iPhone and stuff like that, but I wanted to get something a little bit more quality. So the photos I'm going to be showing here, I did, some of them are with the kit lens that my wife took, but a lot of them that I'm going to show in this video later on are with this lens right here, which you kind of can't see it. There's a light glaring right on it. Ooh, there we go. It's the MEIKE or MEIKE 25mm F1.8 for the APS-C sensors, the crop sensors. Now, this is a manual focus lens. This is no autofocusing whatsoever. It's a prime lens, so it's only 25mm. I don't usually use it for my stream or anything like that, but it is the lens I'm recording with right now. So this is with the MEIKE on the movie setting, with everything set to manual at a 1000 ISO and at f1.8. I'm pretty sure I have the focus dialed as close as I can. If I get a little bit closer, you can see on my forehead becomes a little smoother, as opposed to when I scoot back a little bit. So let's go ahead and go through some shots, so you can see what I have. Settings are super basic. I'm still new to photography, so a lot of stuff is really going to be like 1/60. So there's that. So let's go look at some photos. All right, so this was one of the first pictures I took with the new lens, and that is of the 16-50 OSS kit lens for my A5100. You can see the settings up here, 1/60. The ISO is at 500, and the resolution, which isn't a big deal. So this was one of the first pictures I took. And again, this was another one. This was literally the first and second pictures that I took with this. So my focusing is not great. It's still not great as we look through some of these pictures, but I am happy with the composition of them. This is one of my car, pretty heavily edited. I'm sure you could tell. I don't know why this is 1/1000, but it is. I have no clue why. With the ISO at 100. Whenever you're seeing the dashes right here on some of these photos, that's whenever I'm using the MEIKE or MEIKE lens. So it's every photo you see with the MEIKE or MEIKE in this video is at f1.8, every single one. So they're, just to clear anything out, I left the aperture as open as possible. So this is at f1.8, 1/1000, ISO 100 to get this shot. And this was in midday sun, so there's a lot of editing to get this down. This I had to run outside real quick to get this rain shot, because I was testing it. I really wanted to see what I could do with getting a shot of a mirror in the rain. I see it done a lot, and I just wanted to see what I could do with it. Again, f1.8, 1/250, ISO 100. Picture of my son, f1.8, 1/60, ISO 1600. This picture is actually dark, like out of the camera, it was darker than this. I had to do a lot of editing to kind of bring it up. This was right around where my house is, like looking dead at this picture, how I'm looking at my son. The sun rises on the left side and sets on the right side. of him just as you're looking at this, and it was all the way down, so there wasn't a whole lot of room in terms of light editing. But luckily I shoot everything in RAW, and so I'm able to play with it a lot. As you can see, he has food and crap on his face because this was a very impromptu shot. Just wanted to get him out there and try to mess with some things. This is one of my dogs. I'm not going to say his name, or he'll come over and come running. Again, this is all edited. Edited all these in Lightroom as well. These aren't raw photos, unedited. 1/60 ISO 500 indoors. I don't know, I just really wanted to bring out his fur. Made sure the focus point was the eyes, dialing in the manual focus around the eyes. And then I really wanted to bring out the fur in his face. And then this is my other dog. I'm not going to say her name because she will come jump in my lap big time. She's got a bad eye because she's highly allergic to everything. So anytime she rubs her face in dirt or grass or anything like that, she breaks out in allergies and this eye swells. So sad puppy, but she's got a lot of her hair back. That's good. But yeah, she again wanted to bring a lot of the fur out, the fur detail on her, because I think she has just a really good shape on her face, and I thought that lended very well to this photo. I was really torn with leaving this color or doing it black and white with a high contrast on it, but 1/60 ISO at 500. And then I have one of them together, which is my favorite picture. Again, f1.8, 1/60 ISO 500. They're not on the same plane, so he is the focus point. She is, she's barely behind him. The focal point at f1.8 is so shallow, I couldn't get her and him focused with them not being remotely on the same plane. She's maybe only 4 inches behind. Like if you're setting on them side by side, maybe 4 inches. Now, I probably could have raised the aperture up to like f3 or f3.5 and gotten both of them in, but I don't think I'd have got that bokeh on the background there. So I did 2 versions of this. I did a color one and the black and white. I really like the black and white more personally than the color. And this is the color variant. So black and white, color. Because they're both black, white, and gray dogs, it lends itself good to black and white. Barely any change whatsoever. But as you can see, I just really wanted to make sure we got the detail in the fur out so you could see it. I love the shapes of their faces. This was just a test shot of me with the MEIKE this morning as well. Just trying to see what I could get of myself in terms of one of my passions. I like streaming. I like playing games with my buddies. And I just wanted to see what kind of photo I could get out of that. I set this up on a tripod, 10-second timer. And it took me about a good 35 minutes to get this shot, from taking the shot, adjusting the focal length at f1.8, adjusting the focal length, getting into position, waiting for the shutter, checking it, and back and forth. It took me a while, and I'm still not in focus. I feel like the only thing that's really in focus is like right here, and that's barely, because like my hairline's not in focus, my ear's not in focus. My wife is like, the Dr. Pepper can's in focus, but it's not. There's not hardly anything in focus in this picture, so maybe the chair. Who knows? The chair might be in focus. I do like the picture though, but it would be better if I was in focus and this wasn't. Where I was kind of getting with this photo is every time I would come into focus, this monitor would come into focus, just because of how the tripod was positioned. The edge of that white monitor and my shoulder were landing in the same plane. So it was just kind of hard to get that to work. Now this is going to be a picture of myself. Again, not really in focus. I'm not that photogenic, so I was just testing, again, the depth of field, trying to dial in the focus. I don't think I did a bad job, but I don't think I did a good job either. And how this, you can kind of see this is a really yellow light coming from this light bulb here. I can't really change it. I have daylight bulbs in front of me on my desk, but behind me they're just tungstens. They're yellow. They put off some orangish light. But I tried to save it the best I could. The raw version of this was extremely orange, extremely warm color tones. So I tried to save it the best I could using the raw file. I don't think I did a bad job, but not great, you know? So we're just learning. Again, I've had this lens for like 3 days. So it's just a lot of trial and error. And this is of my mouse that I use. It's a Glorious Model O-. Just trying to see what I could do with that focal length. Again, not a lot of it is in focus. I don't feel it is. Maybe here, barely. But I was running into things where this, you can see how this is more in focus and the front is not, because I kind of had the mouse catty cornered where the butt was a little bit closer to me. The nose was further out. But with f1.8, your depth is so small. Your depth of field that you have, that window is very tight to try to get all of that in focus. And all these shots are just experimenting with f1.8, because my only experience before this was with the kit lens, which the lowest it would go would be 3.5. And that was, you had to be 16 to 18 mils, 18 millimeter on the kit lens to be 3.5. Anything above that would go 4 or 4.5, etc. So I'm trying to just practice framing as well as where I can get with the manual focus. This is my Dr. Pepper. Just seeing what I could do with this. Again, I'm trying to work on the focus. It's not perfectly straight. You see the top, how I was holding the camera, the top is a little bit further towards you than the bottom. So it's not exactly perfectly straight. We can probably skew it and save it, make it a little bit better, but not terrible. My baby Yoda. Whole thing's out of focus. I was trying to focus so hard on this, but whole thing's out of focus. I'm not sure why. I just couldn't dial it in. I tried and tried, and I just could not dial this in. My wife loves this picture though, but I could not save this for the life of me. I tried so hard and got so far, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. Another shot of my car, some editing here. This was with the kit lens, so you can see that up here. This is 1/100 at f9, ISO 100 at 16 millimeters, and then the kit lens EPZ 16 to 50 millimeter. So this was just me testing shots on the kit lens in comparison with the MEIKE. And my car is beat up. You can see the purple specks in here. I never saw that before. I guess that's from the editing, some of the vibrance. I never noticed that. That's so crazy. My car does not have purple specks on it. That is so weird. Super weird. All right. So there's going to be the last two pictures we have to show you are of the sunflowers that I have growing in my yard. This one was taken with the kit lens this was on the scene setting with the macro setting within the scene setting. So this is kind of where it kind of auto sets everything for you based on your focal length, I guess. I'm not 100% sure how it works. But inside the camera, there is a scene setting and macro. So that's what I did. And so it auto settings everything for you. So this was at 1/250, f6.3, ISO 100, 16 millimeter. And this is the shot we got. And the very next picture is going to be with the MEIKE f1.8, 1/4000, ISO 100. And it was super windy. This thing was swinging in the wind, and it was still able to get it incredibly sharp. Naturally, this is after editing. I do believe I turned the clarity up to around +30 to kind of get the veins in the flowers to show. But I had the exact same settings I have on this picture I put on this one, and the exact same. But ultimately, I feel like I do love this. I love this hobby. I think this lens is a great way to get my foot into learning photography, because it forces me to focus on focus. I know that's kind of a double stupid thing there, double entendre maybe, but it makes me pay attention to focus, what is in focus, what is out of focus, and I like that. So it's already putting me a step ahead of where I would be if I was just still using the kit lens. So I have a little more wiggle room in terms of focal lengths and trying to get all that stuff dialed. And I'm already looking at other lenses because I've fallen down a rabbit hole, and I love this. Something about photography in general now is super calming to me. I've been put on like medical leave from work for the past several months due to really bad neck injury. So the fact that I can just relax, take photos, edit the photos, I just bump my microphone, edit the photos, and have something to do that I enjoy is crazy. Like, I edit videos, and that can be really stressful, kind of a, I don't know, not a big payoff type of deal. You know, I edit the video, it's done for people, that's it. But these photos, I can hang on to them, I can look at them, I can look at the before and after. Like the photos with my dogs in particular. My wife, I showed her the befores and afters, and she was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, and what's funny is this camera was going to be a shared purchase between me and my wife. It was for my streaming setup, but whenever we go out and do things, she was going to use the camera to take pictures, and I've actually been using it more. So it's just, I'm liking it. So right now there's 2 lenses that I'm looking at picking up if funds kind of situate themselves, because I'm out of work due to medical stuff. I'm looking at buying the Sony 50mm F1.8 as well as the Sigma 16mm F1.8, because they do have autofocus built in. So if I want to, I can just focus on my subject, snap the pic, get the nice bokeh that I want, and it's all said and done. Kind of a set and forget type deal for me. But I do like where I'm going. I feel like I'm progressing at a rate to where not only can I get a good shot or a decent shot, I know these aren't good by photographer standards, but they're good for me. I'm progressing. I'm learning the editing of them myself. I'm not paying for someone's presets that ultimately I can achieve myself just by adjusting the dials. Paying for a preset whenever it's literally in here already, you just need to find it, makes no sense to me. I don't get that at all. But either way, this was my experience with the MEIKE 25mm F1.8. $75 on Amazon right now. Highly recommend it. I feel like you can get some good shots. This right here is the video quality alone right now is recorded with it. So if you like this video quality, it is what it is. You know, this is all manual settings. So if you are into that and you like that feel, go for it. It is declicked, so your focus ring and your aperture ring have no kind of feedback whatsoever. It's just a really smooth turn. Personally, I don't like that on the, I would like the aperture ring to be clicked and the focus ring to be not. That's just me, because I find once I touch the lens, I've bumped it and it's no longer where I had it set. That's just a personal grievance. Not a big deal though. But there's going to be an Amazon link in the description below. It is an affiliate link, just so you know, full discretion. But I do like this lens. You can see the results that I got with it, and I am a week into photography. Only a weekend. And I feel like I've already progressed pretty good. I like it. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all later.